Today we're going to take a look at Orchid software. To give you a brief overview of what the software has to offer. The software is a powerful tool for managing your business. You'll notice several icons at the top of the software which we will cover. The software shows your upcoming appointments, business productivity, top services, and also gives you a view of your day at a glance. In the event that you're trying to pull some additional information, click on this Business Summary tab. It's going to give us additional information we could use to run a report. Maybe you want to look at some of your sales benchmarks, or you want to look at client retention over a period of time. You could simply do so by running a report up here at the top and selecting any given date range that you would like to pull that information for. Click on the question mark here. That is going to identify exactly how that data is being pulled in and what you are viewing. So I'm just going to click OK here, and we're going to jump right in. We're going to start with the employees. To get started with this, we're going to click on Add Employee. Start with adding the employee's name. The employee I'm adding is Amanda Johnson. The software only requires the employee's name, but it's always a good practice to add their phone number and email address. If you enter a phone number for the employee, they would be able to receive notifications. When a customer books an appointment, makes a change to their appointment, or cancels their appointment, the employee could then get a notification in relation to the customer's appointment. Same with the email address. She will be able to receive notifications via email when appointments are booked, changed, or canceled. If I click on Service Limitations, we can tell the system that Amanda can only perform a particular set of services. All I have to do is say that the employee can only perform the following services. I can click and add the service if it's only one or two services. If it's a category of services, then I could simply just move the category over, and now it's going to allow her to be booked for that type of services. Perhaps Amanda isn't actually an employee and doesn't book appointments for herself. Maybe she's a receptionist. If I click on Display Options, this is where you could then remove somebody from the appointment book, so that you know they aren't available to be booked for appointments. And that would be what I could do in Amanda's case, if she was a receptionist instead of an esthetician or a technician. I'll check the box here. Also, if they're an independent contractor, this is where you can tag them as an independent contractor. If you use our integrated credit card processing, then you could also fill in their merchant ID. This merchant account would keep separate from the business's account. I'll click on Save at the bottom here. And now we have Amanda added as an employee. Now that we have employees in the system, we need a schedule for the employees. The reason that the schedule is so important is that it links to the online booking system of the software. Online booking links your schedule and will allow clients to book appointments in available time slots. Let's just say that Dr. Jones here works 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. On Friday, I'm going to double-click to identify it as a working day in the status here. And in the working hours, I'm going to put in 9 for the start time and then 5 for the end time. And as you can see, it's also auto-filling in the AM and the PM. Once I've entered in the time, I'll set this for Monday through Friday. So I click on Recurring, and then we click on Add Multiple Dates. Now that we're in the Add Multiple Dates screen here, we're going to set this to recur all the way through the end of this year. So I go 12/31 of 2019. Click on the recurrence to be weekly. And then this is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So now I click on OK. It's going to fill in all those dates until the end of the year. And I click on OK again. And then it's going to pull whatever I have in this working hours field here. And as you can identify, it's now red, which indicates that it's been set up as a recurring schedule. So if I click on OK, it's going to then identify that it's added 188 entries for Jessica. Now let's say that Jessica actually does not work on Saturdays or Sundays. We could go through the same motions. I click on the first Saturday. It's actually going to be a day off. So I go off regular day, and then we're actually going to make that recur. Again, keep in mind, The working hours actually show they are marked off, so you don't actually need to enter in any hours because they're not actually working. Click on Recurring, then Add Multiple Dates. And then we're going to select Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to make this end at the end of the year again. So I go to 12/31 of 2019, and I click on OK. And then, as you see, it just fills in every Saturday and Sunday, and I click OK. And OK again. And now Jessica has her schedule set up for the rest of the year. Let's say that John and Amanda have the same schedule as Jessica. In the event that you do have employees whose schedules match up, you could utilize some of the tools over here on the left-hand side of the screen. There's an option called Copy Schedules. If I click on that, I'm going to select my source employee, which would be Jessica because she is the one that we have the schedule created for. And then I'm going to select Amanda and John, and the end date for this period. I'm going to make it the end of this year again. This is going to be to match up the same schedule that Jessica has until the end of this year. Click on Copy, then OK. Now click Close. You'll see that their schedules have now been mirrored to match Jessica's schedule. The next thing that we need to go over are the services your business offers. We're going to click on Services here. What we'll do is add additional services that are currently not in the system. It'll prompt us to add in a new service. Start by adding the ID. The service could be a massage service. Add the massage service description in too. The idea is simply an abbreviation of the description if you deem that necessary, or you can go with any sort of order that you're going to be able to identify. Now add the price. Let's say that the massage is $60. Then maybe it's a 60-minute massage. The category might be helpful to you. If you have different types of services, in this case, for the category, I don't have a category for massage, so we're actually going to create a new category. If I click on Edit and I click Add, I could actually add a massage category because maybe I offer different kinds of massages. So I click on OK. I'm going to move this blank one to the top. You always want to have the blank at the top. I click OK. And then I can select the category to be massage. Now, if your services applied require taxes, you can apply taxes to your services as well. If particular employees offer different price exceptions, maybe John Doe charges $60, while Amanda is $70. If this is the case, click on Exceptions, then click Add. You could then select Amanda and enter $70. That's going to be a value of her price being $70. When that service is under her name, it'll automatically pull up as $70. The exception for time works the exact same way. If she were to take more or less time to perform a service, you can make those adjustments under the exceptions themselves. So now I'm going to click Save. As you can see, it has added the service into the system. Let's say that I have a service that needs to be changed or edited. I have the PRP for the face, for instance. If I need to make any changes, I could by double-clicking on it. Make any necessary changes and then click Save. Next, we'll take a look at adding in clients. Click the Client screen, then click on Add Client. We can go through the motions of adding an additional client into the system here. So in this case, I'm going to add a client. Say that we have Ashley that's going to be in the system. So we add Ashley's first name and last name. Go ahead and add anything else you deem important. Adding in the customer's information is important because you can send out marketing campaigns and messages to the customer. You can send out messages based off different criteria like birthdays, last appointment date, and past purchases. Some of the other crucial or important information is to make sure you add the customer's phone number. Once you add their phone number in the system, that is how they will be able to get reminders for their appointment. And they will also be able to confirm their appointment via text message as well. So once we have their information here, I could click Save. And then you've added a client into the system. The next thing we're going to go over is the appointment book. You'll see that we have all of our employees' schedules here on the appointment book. As an example, I would like to add an appointment to the appointment book. To do so, let's say that a customer calls up and wants to book an appointment for Monday the 15th at 10 a.m. You can reference the calendar on the left-hand side. I can go over to the 15th, which is going to be Monday. And as you'll see here, it's switched the date in the event that you wanted to review more than one day on the appointment book. However, you could always select the range of days that you wanted to see. The customer wants to book at 10 a.m. with Amanda. If I double-click on the 10 a.m. slot, it's going to pull up the Find Client screen. From here, we would be able to identify or pull up the client that we're booking for. In this case, if I start typing in John in the field, it's going to pull up any Johns that they have in the system. You can also search by email address, phone number, anything that you might have on their client profile. So now I'm just going to select John here, and then this is going to pull up what's called the ticket screen. So this is the primary focus of the software here. This screen is actually how you book appointments, as well as check customers out. What you'll do is double-click on the ID box here. It's going to pull up a list of my products and services. If I wanted to narrow that down, I could. I could just narrow it down to products or just services. From here, all I need to do is select the service that they're going to be getting. And in this case, they're going to be receiving microneedling. Another service that's typically paired with microneedling is PRP. So in that instance, I might also utilize the PRP service here as well. So in the event that you know the ID of the service as an example, let's say that we knew that PRP was SS13. If I right-click on it and remove that item from here, and then I actually just type in SS13, what it'll do is it'll auto-populate the service because it matches up with the ID. I can go Schedule/Leave Open on the right-hand side. That's going to now book out the appointments for John. Now in the event that John calls up and says, "Hey, I'm running a bit late. Is there any way we can move my appointment to 12 o'clock?" You could just simply drag them over to 12 o'clock. In the event that they were trying to reschedule for tomorrow with Amanda at 12 o'clock instead, you could also drag it across the appointment book to do so. This is a great way of just being able to make a change to an appointment very quickly. So let's just say that we do move the appointment. It's going to give you a pop-up to commit to that change. I'm going to select Yes. I would like to change it from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And now that appointment has been rescheduled for 12 o'clock p.m. Once John shows up for his appointment, right-click on his appointment and select Check Client In. This is now going to change the appointment from blue to red, which is going to be an indication that the client has arrived for their appointment or is ready for their service. Let's say that John has now completed his microneedling and PRP, and now he needs to check out. So to do so, we need to click on John's ticket or his appointment here. It's going to pull up the same screen that we used to book his appointment. And if you utilize our integrated credit card processing, all you would need to do is select Process Credit Card and then follow the prompts that will come after that in order to take his payment. However, if you are not utilizing the integrated credit card processing, you would select the payment type, and then you also hit Tender equals due for the amount that they paid. That's going to change the due amount to the tender amount. And then, if they leave a tip on the card, you can also edit the tip. You can add a tip here too. In this case, perhaps $100. And that's going to be a withheld tip because it's on a credit card. And then that's going to go under Amanda's name, and I clicked on OK. It's going to add it to the due amount. And then if I just need to correct that we're charging $1,900 on the Visa. Now once they have paid, all I need to do is hit Checkout/Close. However, in the event for a service such as this, where they may be coming back into the business in perhaps 4 to 6 weeks for another treatment, I could also go Checkout/Close and rebook. So in the event that this is the case, I click on Checkout, Close, and Rebook. What it's going to do is navigate us over to the rebooking screen. The system would then allow me to rebook our client. So it's going to allow you to rebook for a service that has already been booked previously on that existing ticket. If you needed to add any additional services, you can add those after you've booked the appointment. So if I click Rebook Services, I can then go select any day, or I could jump to 4 weeks from today, or perhaps 6 weeks from today. And now it's jumped out 6 weeks. You can reference Amanda's schedule, and then I can click Rebook, knowing that she's available. And then it's going to open up the ticket screen. If I needed to add any additional services at this given time, I could. However, in this case, I'm just going to schedule/leave open. And then it will book their next appointment out. This is a great way to get your customers to keep coming back to the business. The last thing I want to show you is in the event of a cancellation or a no-show, or maybe this appointment was made by mistake, and they actually didn't want to rebook. If I double-click on their appointment, what you see here, in the bottom right-hand corner, is an option to cancel. There is an option for no-show and void. If the appointment was made by mistake, you could void it out. If they actually call in to cancel, you could simply cancel their appointment. Or you could also select no-show. So let's say that John ended up not showing up for his appointment. We could select no-show, and then it's going to ask a reason why. I click on OK. And that's going to make his appointment disappear off of the book. If I ever wanted to reference ticket information for a date or date range, I could. If I click on Tickets up here, and I go search by date, what I can do is jump over to May 24th, and go to Tickets to show all. And you'll see that John's ticket from May 24th was a no-show. So you can always reference all your tickets in the software. Let's say in this business we book out rooms. In order to book out a room, we need to set up a resource. Resources are what we utilize inside Orchid. Resources help identify when a room is available or unavailable, because a service is being performed in that room, and so that it's not going to be double booked. If I click on the resources icon listed above here, we can then go Add Resource. And then from here, we can just call this Room 1, for example. The category of that room should be specific. If it's for anything like PRP or laser hair removal, you could categorize that room like that. For our resource, the max occupancy of the room is 1. And we could link a service to it. So when the service or services are booked, they will get linked to a specific room that we had decided on. So in this case, we are going to put the PRP in that room, and then we're also going to put microneedling. So those are going to be the only things that can be booked inside Room 1. So now if I click on Save, it is going to create that resource. Now that the resource has been created, we'll give it a schedule. It's very similar to an employee where it still needs a schedule. So if I actually go over to the appointment book, you're going to see Room 1 is now on the appointment book. But there's no schedule identified for that room, so it'll be a little bit challenging to book for that room. So in this case, I'm going to click on my schedule up here at the top. And then in the event that schedule just lines up with the working hours, if you're only open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, I could simply copy the availability for that room to be the same as John's schedule here. So now I can just select Copy that room to 1. And then we could say it was going to change after June. And I could just go out until the end of June. And I click Copy instead. And now that room is fully scheduled. They're fully set all the way until the end of June. Now if I go back over to our appointment book, you'll see that Room 1 is now on the schedule. To make it a little bit more viewable on the screen, I'm going to change things back over to a one-day view. And what that's going to do here is now you'll see the room is on the schedule. The room, because it's kind of placed right in between our employees, we might not like how it's displayed that way. What we could do is right-click anywhere on the appointment book that has an open space, and I can click Calendar View options. From here, I can go into our color codes, which is the second tab here. And what I can do is reorder the list of employees or how the appointment book is ordered currently. In this case, Room 1 is between Amanda and Dr. Jones, so I'm going to move it all the way to the bottom and click Apply. And the other thing that I would like to do with the room is to change the color. So if I double-click on the color code here and then label it any number, it's just going to be number 100. In this case, it's just the one room, so I could go Appearance and then Colors. And we could simply select any custom color that we wanted, or we could use one of the options that are already available to us. So if I click on OK, and I click on Apply, you'll see now that room has been changed to green. Now I'll click on OK. And let's just go through the motions of booking out that appointment one more time so we can see the process of being booked within a room. So now if I want to book an appointment for Friday at 12 o'clock, then we go and we search for whoever we might be looking for and pull up the client. And then what we can do here is find the service by typing them into the ID box here. But again, if you don't remember, you can double-click on it and it'll pull up all existing services that are available to be booked. I can hit Schedule/Leave Open. And now you'll see that it's able to reference the room with the employees so that that room cannot be booked at that time with another employee. So if I only have one room for PRP, and John wanted to book a PRP appointment for 12 o'clock, it will then come back and throw an error at John to say that, hey, that room has already been booked at that time. Now, one of the other functions of the system here is passwords. Passwords are very important for a lot of people. The password system will let you determine which employees have access to certain features. Now, in order to do so, if I click on the shield up here, it pulls up our password screen. Click Edit Access, and then we can go over some of the functions of this screen. You can decide on what features each employee should have access to. You can edit the passwords for them in the system here, and then you could provide that to the employee. Once you have done that, you can also set it so that it will remember which employee has logged in. And you can make it so that it'll automatically log an employee out after X amount of time if you choose. I'm going to turn passwords off for the moment, and I'm going to click on OK. One of the additional functions of Orchid is going to be the document tracking. You can select a client from the client screen and go into their profile. Then click on the Document Tracking tab. In the Document Tracking section here, you can upload documents to the client's profile. This is a great tool to utilize in the event that you have some sort of chart that you need to upload. We have some documents that are already on here, but you can upload your own. You go onto the computer to go select the file that you want to upload into the system. What you would do from there is just upload the document, and then it would show up in the client's profile. We can always change what these are. And you can put documents that you would like to utilize into the system. You could also print the notes out if you wish. You may also want to open the notes and update them and then save them again. The bottom section is where you would upload that document directly onto the file here, so all I'm going to do here is click on Save. If you are trying to pull up a report to identify how much money the business has taken in for any given day, if we just click on Totals up here, this is how you can run your business totals for any given period of time, day, week, or month. So if I just select today, or in this case I'm going to select all days, I'll click on OK. And then what it's going to do is run a report for everything that's been done for the time frame of what I've selected. This brings up the business totals here. Now what you can do from here is itemize everything. If I want to know just services, I can pull up a report that pulls up just the service totals and a breakdown of each individual total. If I want to know just the cash, I can double-click Cash, and this is going to give me a breakdown of all the cash transactions for that given date range. If I want to know just the services for Jessica, I can click on the Services for Jessica, and that's going to give us a breakdown of all the services related to Jessica for that given date range. And you can do that for returns, for back bar, or for the total number of tickets or products. If you have any additional questions, please contact us at 800-604-2040. And I hope you have a wonderful day.